how do you gonna pay a motherfucker like That's just how bad it is.
Before it was 500 plus.
I tell you what just happened to my brother not too long ago. He told the bitch he's gonna shoot this bitch if she ain't take that damn out.
And you know, see, he said this up on too.
You better take this motherfucker out. Yeah. You can't trust me. That's just one thing. It's the type of women you deal with. You just make sure you deal with somebody that's responsible.
That's cool. I mean, that sounds good in theory, but even if you got the, what you want to call it, the unicorn, it's still a gun on the table. I'm saying you find you the best woman, and that's good for you, but it's still a gun on the table. It's still something that's within her control. That's what I'm saying.
She ain't married you first. Why is you giving her this motherfucker?
How many niggas in here is holding themselves for marriage right now? Hey, we all in the same boat there. Well, I'm saying ain't no virgins in here. I don't think.
It's one. That's the last one. He's the last one.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? This your man Marcus A. Brown, and this is gonna be real quick because it's not thought out or scripted or none of that. This is just me ranting on the way to the crib as always. Listen, a lot of men are afraid to be serious and have some balls and stick to what the fuck they say. Now, men communicate with each other jokingly, through different social interactions, through implications, but very rarely will you come across a guy that's just sticking to his guns and putting it plain out here in the raw, like, look, this is what it is, this is my position, this is where I stand. I've been talking to guys in a barbershop. I might post a conversation if I got it. I tried to record some of it, but it was real spontaneous. I'm in a barbershop and I'm talking to these guys, and I asked this old timer, like, man, do you think that it's fair that a woman has X amount of forms of birth control, and let's say she gets pregnant, she can have an abortion, whether you agree with it or not, and she can motherfucking put a child up for adoption. Now, depending on the state or the jurisdiction, I don't know if they can do that with or without, hold on, fam, the man's permission. But, I mean, for the most part, we all know women can do whatever the fuck they want to do once they get pregnant. Once you get a bitch pregnant, all it takes is a drop, and you no longer have a say-so in your parental future. You don't have as much of a say-so as if you want to be a father or not. If she wants you to be a father, you're gonna be a father. If she don't want you to be a father and you actually want the kid, you're not gonna be a father, because guess what? Her reproductive rights trump yours. But I'm rambling. I ain't say all that. Talking to this guy, all I asked him is, hey, what are your thoughts on reproductive rights? If they want a kid, they can have it. If they don't, then they won't have it. You don't have that same right. How do you feel about that? So the man gets into this long-ass rant about the white man and the system is against the black man. All this typical shit, G. I'm so fucking tired of hearing that. And I don't even want to trumpet and say that none of it is absolutely true. So I try not to attack these guys, especially the older brothers. And I want to try to partially agree with them and say, you know what, yeah, I can agree with that. I believe there's a degree of truth in what you're saying, but let's bring it back to what I'm saying. We're talking about reproductive rights. Once you nut in a chick, you can't say, I want an abortion. You can't say, hey, I want to give this child up for adoption. You can't do that without her consent. But she can do that without your consent. How do you feel about that? And the nigga gets to talking about Nike and major corporation, all type of goof ass shit, G. And at the end of the conversation, we joking about women, and it was a barbershop conversation. So it was like, yeah, women do what they want to do, ha ha ha. Happy wife, happy life, the same typical blue pill simp ass shit. And the reason I'm making this rant is this: men are afraid to be straightforward. We communicate through implications. These new beta males and even the alphas that just don't want no problems with women. Now, they'll square up with you. They'll talk tough to another man or about another man. But when we talk about women and our black queens and our goddesses, they always fold. And any type of truth they want to tell you, I'm talking about the old heads talking to the young niggas, it has to be through implications. So I'll give you another example. I remember when I was I remember, what was I, 22 when I got in truck driving school. When I got in truck driving school, I was the youngest person in my class. They was like, how old are you? And plus, I just looked like a little ass kid. And I'm like, yeah, I'm 21. I didn't get out of the class. I was 22. But I was 21 at the time. He was like, man, you know, that's good. And, you know, you can make a good living off of this. And I'm glad you're here. I hope you stay for the course or whatever. Now, he said the first lesson in truck driving school is don't get married. All of the guys in there started laughing. And I'm laughing just, you know, that awkward trying to fit in laughter. I don't really know what the fuck is funny. But he was dead ass serious, but that's the thing. He couldn't say, hey, don't get married. It had to be a joke. And we had 2 ladies in the room, so, I mean, I know that. I don't really remember if they responded negatively to that. But it was a soft-hearted joke. It was like an icebreaker to start the class. But I've had several guys in that class pull me to the side, you know, because when you're young, they just want to ask you questions. Inquiring minds want to know, are you married? Do you got truck drivers in the family? What made you want to get into this? Why you not in college? Why you not in school? You know, and I'm just like, well, I used to direct traffic in the fucking trucks. I used to have to block the left lane just to let them get across 22nd, Cermak and Ashland and shit. So it's like I had this love-hate relationship with truck drivers. And at the red lights, I'd just be talking to them, and they was talking about the type of money they was making, and that sounded like a lot of money to me at the time, so here I am at truck driving school. But, you know, getting back to the story, I've had so many guys in truck driving school and even beyond asking me personal questions like, are you married? Do you have kids? Do you have truck drivers in your family? Basically, what the fuck are you doing here making the same wage that I'm making? Because you should be in school racking up debt in some fucking liberal arts degree or something. You shouldn't be here making the same type of money I'm making. That's how I take it, but, you know, I play the game. I play along. And I just say, no, I don't have any kids. No, I'm not married. They be like, man, that's good, man. You got it made. Just don't get married. Don't have kids. But it always has to be in a joking manner. None of these pussies can say this shit with vigor and conviction. None of them can say it seriously because in the back of their mind, they dead ass motherfucking serious. I know a guy right now, we just happened to get in a conversation about retirement. He was like, yeah, man, you know, I could have been retired. I like this job. You know, it's cool. If I retire, I have to sit at home with my wife. Ha ha ha. That was, you supposed to insert laughter there. But, you know what I mean, after the laughter is over, I'm seriously thinking about this. Like, hey, this motherfucker dead ass serious. He don't want to retire because he don't feel like sitting in the crib with a nagging bitch. But he won't say that. Why won't these old school men keep it 100 and tell us what the fuck it is? And why do they look at me crazy? Because I'm dumb enough to say the shit. I don't know. But that's my rant. I'm going to keep it short right now. But that's really what stuck with me at this barbershop conversation, man. And I told these brothers this. I'm glad that at the end of the day, we can even agree on certain things like that the legal system or the family court is biased against men. I'm glad. I feel like I've reached a milestone that I can even get guys to agree with me on that. Because at the end of the day, we can have these discussions with females and they would not agree with none of this shit. They would always deflect. They would always say, shouldn't get no bitch pregnant. You got her pregnant, you got to deal with the responsibilities. The responsibility and accountability is always placed on the male. No women want to assume accountability for their actions. They have no agency. It's selective agency, but they want all of the equal rights. And yes, there are old school brothers out here that will pull you to the side and pull your coattail and say, hey, you know, this is what I did. This is what worked in my favor. This is what didn't work in my favor. But they always have to soften that blow with, find you the right woman. And I always hit them right back with, you know what? There are good women out here, if that's what you want to hear. If I find a good woman, keep in mind that there's still a gun on the table. And they don't seem to get that. Or even if they get it, they just don't want to agree with it. You can find the perfect woman. I know good women. I know women right now that I believe will make good mothers. I know women right now that have the capacity. Not saying that they will, but they have the capacity, and I'm aware of it, that they will make pretty good wives. But despite all of that, I can marry a unicorn, and it would still be a gun on the table. What the fuck don't y'all understand about that? When I tell these guys that, they don't want to agree with me. It's like this, and I'm talking about, look, I'm not the hardest man in the group, right? But this comes from soft dudes. This comes from the alpha old men. This comes from the toughest, most dominant, make my presence felt ass motherfuckers in the room. It don't matter how tough they are. They always fold under gynocentrism. They always fold when look, I got the accolades here. I can take it there, and they don't have shit to say. Why is that? Come on, man. I'm little soft ass Marcus Brown. Obviously, if what I'm talking about is wrong, you should be able to dispute it, but motherfuckers can't. They're always reluctant to agree with me on some shit that they know is the motherfucking truth. Excuse my French, but I mean, it is what it is, man. Hey, these old heads not gonna keep it hunting with you. Not unless they've been burned and put through the meat grinder. You know what I'm saying? And if you're fortunate enough, and I'm not putting no obligations on men going their own way, but I think it's a noble and glorious thing to see men who are accomplished to make these type of statements. Because I'm gonna tell y'all, ain't nobody hearing this from no broke dudes. Ain't nobody hearing this from no broken, as in destroyed men. And ain't nobody hearing it from somebody that doesn't have that sexual market value, that looks money status. You know what I'm saying? Even me at this current stage, I mean, I'm doing decent. I'm fairly well. I got some people that's checking for me, but I ain't no motherfucking Trey Songz. I ain't no Bill Gates. I ain't no Donald Trump yet. But it takes those type of men with status to make these type of statements with conviction and for people to take this shit seriously. Otherwise, we gonna be these pussy fat pacifist beta men with no testicles that's trying to imply that marriage is not beneficial for men, that having children, especially outside of your control, is not beneficial for men. Because the knowledge is out here and the men know what the fuck it is. They just can't say it. They won't say it. So don't expect them to.